talk about the next few weeks that we're doing. So if you miss out on a week over the next 6 weeks, it's okay because we revisit what we're doing. The fundamentals, if you thought you were coming here today to do a full yoga flow, please don't be alarmed, because what we're going to do is break all the steps down. You'll see a couple of different props here. So then that way, as beginners or people with different levels and experience in yoga and breathing and mindfulness, is that I want to make sure that we teach you the fundamentals, then you will know what works in your own body and then for your range of movement and ailments on any given particular day. So if you're looking at Sue or John next to you, don't worry if they're doing the big Instagram handstands and everything like that, because that's not what it's about. It's about functional movement. So then that way we can do the simple things like, you know, finding if we're walking up a ladder, we can have a little bit more balance. We're not going to do the molly or anything like that and fall off it. If we're getting up from the chair or getting out of your car, it's making sure that we have that functional movement to be able to do things, lifting the grandkids up, so on and so forth. So we'll be finding something that works for you today and over the next sort of 1 or 2 weeks before we start moving into some more flows and teaching the fundamentals of the poses. So lastly as well, everything is a choice here. We're trauma informed, so I'll provide options for you, and then you can choose to do it or not, depending on whether you feel comfortable or want to give it a go. It's all your choice. So if you find yourself in pain, please back off. I don't want you to be in pain. If you're in discomfort, that's okay, because you might be stretching or moving in a way that you've not done in a long time. So that'll be challenging for you, but it's all about you finding out what really works for you, and everything lastly is connected to the breath. So we're going to keep breathing. So if you find yourself not breathing, back off and keep breathing so that you don't fall down off the perch. All right, so without further ado, let's hook in. And I forgot to press start on my timer, silly me. All right, so lastly as well, ladies and gentlemen, you'll see the cameras here, and that's because sometimes some people and members can't make it to the events. So I record them, so then that way, if they're at home and want to have a go, they have the opportunity to be able to then play back on demand, right, as part of the RSL Active program. So then that way they can have a go at well-being and mental health and yoga at home. Okay, any questions? No? If you need to take a drink at any stage, please do so. I'm not going to get offended if you stop for the flow. All right, so let's start off now with arriving on our mat. So let's just stand on our mats here. Fantastic. And you'll see the lines. So what I want you to do, we're going to start from the ground up. All right, it's always from the ground up, setting a good base. Right, trees also sway. So let's just sway a little bit. Maybe picking up your toes and then placing them down on the mat. All right, maybe rocking backwards and forwards a little bit and seeing where our center of gravity might be. Maybe we might want to bend our knees a little bit. All right, our knees. Keeping soft knees without locking them out is very important. So if I mention keep soft knees or don't lock out your knees, what I mean is locking them back like this. Right, so keeping a soft knee or a micro bend is keeping a slight bend in the knee or the arm. Usually it's more with the knee when we mention this. All right, so we're going backwards and forwards, we're bending up and down. Maybe we might want to put our hands on our hips, right, and then tilt our pelvis backwards and forwards there. That's the pelvic tilt that we're going to talk about in a moment. All right, bending backwards and forwards, and then our shoulders are back. So if we can come to some stillness for the moment, the first move that first pose is what we call mountain pose from the standing position. There's 3 main positions that we might come into in yoga, and starting on the floor, lying down, seated, or standing. All right, so there's a couple of different options. We've started our practice today in the standing position. And of course, I've just forgotten which I've just seen in front of me. If you have a look in front of you, there's a whole varied range of options here to be able to go at. I'm big on props, so it enables you to be able to do moves or have access to moves that maybe you might not thought that you have. So we've got the chair, we've got a block. The little blue things are knee pads. So if we're on the floor, they'll help out, but also you're welcome to bring your own towel. And then we've also got the straps. All right, so from here, like we're going to be standing sort of like at ease or at attention. Let's bring our feet and look it down. There's a line in the middle of your mat. If you don't have one, just have a look, and your toes will be facing the front of the mat. We've come down, micro bend in our knee, our pelvis is tilted forward. With our hands, whatever's comfortable for you, you might want to place them on by your side, or you place them open. But we're just going to relax our shoulders a little bit and maybe dip the chin a little bit, and imagine that the top and the crown of our head is lifting up to the ceiling. All right, so the top of our head. So we're going to dip our chin a little bit. This is what we call mountain pose, and is a very a good pose. It's a pose that we start off in to be able to before we go into the other moves, right? So from the standing, a lot of the time this is the pose. All right, so from here we're going to grab your right and my left hand, and we're going to just quickly lift it up, reach over our head, and we're going to stretch our neck. So from here, place it over your head, and we're just going to do some yes and no's. Place a little bit of pressure, right? Because, you know, it's still the morning time. Sometimes we sleep on our sides and we get a little bit of funky juju from the pillows. Right, from here, letting go, changing our hands around, over the top now, placing a little bit of pressure on, and then just doing some yes and no's. Nothing too hard out, we're still warming up. Right, we've set our base, we're just going to relax. We're going to start breathing as well. So whatever works for you, breathing in through your nose or through your mouth. We can just breathe in for a count of 4 and out for a count of 4 to start off with the hands. All right, with your right hand, my left hand is just coming across. We're going to do, this is what we call somatic tapping, and just waking up the body. All right, so you can grab the palm on your hand. All right, I'm going to tap the side of the neck, sorry. I'm going to come across our chest, this side here. It always happens with the microphone here when I do it. Other side now, get the side of your neck. Across the chest. We forgot the arm, didn't we? So almost forgot the arms. This is just waking up our body, telling us we're about to get into some movement. All right, coming to some stillness, maybe shake the hands out. Let's give our hands like we're flicking water from the dishes. I would have done the dishes, the hoogie-joogie. That's it. All right, we're going to be doing the floss with the kids, the grandkids. No? All right. As you know, I like to keep things quite, less formal, yogish. I like to have a little bit of a joke and a bit of banter around, so it's all cool. So it's not so rigid. All right. So here we go. Is if we're going to just now roll our necks forwards and backwards. Sorry, ear to ear, and then maybe we might want to circle our head all around. Maybe do 3 one way. And if you get a little bit tired out standing, you can also be welcome to sit down as well for this. That's not a problem at all. Maybe we'll go ear to shoulder now. Ear to shoulder, just feeling that side of the neck come up. All right, fantastic. Okay, from here, we're going to stand in our start off. You could stay seated as well from the seated position. I can show that as well. From our hands forward is inhaling. As we inhale, we're going to bring our hands up and then forward, looking to our thumbs to the sky. We can have them 45 degrees. We can have them at the top, just wherever's comfortable for you. If your hands could come together, that might be okay. Or for me, with my shoulders, I like to have them apart a little bit. So from here, and then we're going to breathe out and just relax down. So we're going to be also warming up our lungs as well. So using our hands as a bit of when we breathe in through our nose or through our mouth, is filling up our lungs up to the top, should be full, and then we're just going to release down. So with me, all right, with me, that's I was just explaining it, sorry guys. So from here, we're going to breathe in, look at your thumbs, and then from here, just loosen. Like a deflating balloon. So we're just warming up our lungs a little bit now. You might want to notice that your lungs or your ribs open up as we reach up for the sky, and then come down. Perfect. All right, this next one's a little bit different. Breathe in. At the top, relax a little bit without going down. Now take another sip in through your mouth and reach higher, and run one more. And then relax. With these sips, I want to see if you notice that your ribs open up that little bit more. We're opening. It's just like getting a balloon before the kids' parties and we're stretching it. That's what we're doing for our lungs before we get into these movements. All right, inhaling, looking to the thumbs, the sky. Let's take another sip. One more sip. Relax the shoulders, and then one more, and then we'll go into our forward fold. From here, are you okay? Yep, no worries. You can also welcome to do this seated as well. If you feel the need, you can turn the chair. Right, okay, inhaling. One more sip. One more sip. Relax the shoulders, and then inhale. From here, doing it one more time, inhaling. This is different. We're going to be bending and hinging from our hips down. Bend your knees a little bit. As we sort of start to bend, we're going to reach for the ground. You don't need to. We're bending at our hips. Let your hands dangle, and the last thing you're going to let loose is your head. Right? Bending our knees, think belly on thighs, and our hands are loose. Fantastic. Right? You could do that from the chair as well. That's perfect. Right? It's just, and then from here, I want you to notice that sensation that you might get in your lower back. We're stretching that out from our coccyx and stretching out our lower back. So from here, you might want to grab your elbows, and then with each of our feet is pedal from side to side. And what we're doing now is massaging our lower back as well as loosening it out for our movements. All right, coming into stillness now is then maybe hands on hips to prepare, and then inhaling as we breathe in to come up, looking at the hands, and then coming down, loosening off. We're going to do that 2 more times. Okay, so standing in mountain pose, starting from the start, looking at the feet, fantastic work. Inhaling to the top, looking to our fingers, and then hinging from our hips, coming down, bending from the midline. Maybe our belly might come onto our thighs, bending the knees, right, to start off with, and then grabbing our elbows with our hands and then walking our feet like so. This is what we call ragdoll, forward fold.
Oh, that was in the Olympics.
Yeah, that was, not ray gun, right? We'll do the ray gun in a minute. Let's warm up the back a little bit. We'll do the kangaroo that she did. Okay, from here, what I want you to do now is straighten your legs as we breathe in. Straighten your legs, keep a micro bend. And like a bookshelf, right? Like a bookshelf, we're straightening our back, placing our hands on our legs. If you're on a chair, what I want you to do is you can bend down and then you can stretch up like this, is pushing up with the chair. All right, so if that's the way that works for you with the chair, right, and then breathe down, exhaling, bend down again, fantastic. We're going to do this 2 more times to what we call halfway lift. Inhaling to the bookshelf or halfway lift, exhaling. All right, loosen your head, inhaling 1 more time. Exhaling. This one's different. We're going to come to rise as we inhale, spiking down on our heels. Last thing's to come at the hands, and then we're going to scoop up some air, reach for our thumbs, and then let the balloon go. Fantastic work. All right, we're going to do this 1 more time. All right, so I'll do it from the side so you can see. I'll just quickly show you what I mean by the side angle, and then even with the chair. So from here, inhaling, as we come down to the forward fold, we can belly on our thighs, and our hand could be here if you're using the chair. When we come up for a halfway lift is pushing up on your hands and then coming over the top of the chair like this, like a bookshelf. If we're not using the bookshelf, where our hands are on our ankles, and then it's like a bookshelf because that's the support there and our back's what's carrying the books. Okay, so the 2 different options, whatever is going to work for you best today. Fantastic work there, yes. So make sure that you can keep your feet a little bit apart as well when we do this. Fantastic. And you're also welcome to move the chair in front of the mat as well, if that helps. And give you more grip. Yes, fantastic.
Andy.
Yes, mate.
Could you get up on the stage?
Oh, I sure can. Yep, I sure can. If you're happy with that, I can definitely do that. All right, we're testing and adjusting every week. So if this works better for you and you can see me, let's do that. All right. This one here. Back the camera there. All right. Excellent, everyone. Fantastic. Okay, so let's do this again. Oh, hold on a sec. I didn't move this one, did I? Yeah. All right. From here, let's look at our feet. Again, so slightly splayed is okay, or facing with our toes in front of the mat, wiggling our toes. Maybe you might want to lift your toes and then feel them come down onto the ground. Fantastic. Hands by the side, shoulders are neutral. Inhaling as we scoop our hands up, looking to our thumbs, and then exhaling as we come down, bending and hinging from our waist. Last thing that we release is our neck. Maybe you might touch the ground, maybe you might want to come to a chair or a block. Or the kneecap, so keep a micro bend in your knees. Hands come across. We're going to go across here like this again. All right, from here, hands come down to a halfway lift. Halfway lift is inhaling as we're coming up to that bookshelf. Again, on the chair, pushing up like this. Otherwise, we're going to come back down. Exhale as we deflate that balloon. And do this 2 more times in your own time to your breath. Inhaling, going to the bookshelf. Exhaling, coming down. 1 more time, inhaling, exhaling, and then coming all the way up now as we breathe in. Hands come up and scoop up. Looking at our hands and then down. Fantastic. All right, so from here, that's the first half of what we call a sun salutation. So when we're coming in, the mountain pose, and then the forward fold, and then the halfway lift is the first half. Right, usually we'll start to go in to do some push-ups, but we'll save that for next week. Right, but we'll start with our standing series next. Right, so this one isn't quite yogish, but what I find is that if you've got grandkids and they want you to twirl them around, maybe we might get a little bit dizzy. So I call this resetting our gyroscope or our internal gyroscope. So from here, all right, has anyone played Goon of Fortune? No? No one? No. All right, so from here, what we're going to do is raise our arms up in a T, all right, like a heels hoist. All right, and we're going to be turning to your right, my right as well. As we inhale, taking lots of little steps around, we're going to go around like a fan, basically. And then we're going to exhale back to the front. That's it. All right, excellent. So inhaling. All right, it seems a bit silly, but we're going to be resetting this gyroscope with our balance in a moment. All right, 1 more. Go on. There we go. The kids are saying, oh, Nana, Pa, come on. Give me another swing. 1 more time. 1 more time. 1 more time. Here we go. There we go. You can start to get a little bit dizzy. You've got the chairs in front of you to hold on. Arms down. All right, so we're going to reverse that now by inhaling. Arms up, and then we're going to do the other way. So turning around the other way, 3 rotations in your own time, linking the breath up. All right, it's amazing to see how quickly you can get a feel that dizziness, especially as we get a bit older. That gyroscope can go a little bit. All right, anyone a pilot here? No one? Oh, Tony, of course you are, mate. Oh, yeah. Right, it's just that when you're doing your barrel rolls and like, you know, if you're not in the air or doing spins all the time, as we get older, it gets a little bit harder. All right, so from here, with our little balance, coming into our mountain pose. From here, right, our right foot's going to raise up. We're going to lift our raise. I'll give a demonstration. Is breathe in, right foot comes up, and we're just going to place our foot to the side then. And we're going to do this 4 times. So it's like getting out of the car. All right, so we've gone around now and we're working on our balance. And then so from here we breathe in, knee comes up, and then breathe out, knee comes around. And then we're facing the other side. Yes, that way, right? Yes? All right, inhale, and then to the back of the room, exhaling. Whichever way you're going with, no, so the knee goes out. So what we're doing is the knee's coming up and then it's going out. So we're opening up our hips like we're getting out of the car. All right, so yes. So we're in the driver's seat at the moment, so it's the right foot. So inhaling, we're going to get out of the car and then down. Yes, fantastic. Right, one more time. We'll all face the front in a second. Inhaling and then rotating around. I will come down and I'll meet you in a moment. Inhale, exhale around, and then we'll meet at the front. Fantastic. Yes, amazing. Excellent work, everyone. All right, so that's the balancing that we're doing. This is part of our balance series. So from here today, now our left foot is the one that's going to be raised up. We're going to inhale on the one, and then we're opening up our legs, coming around to the outside. Yes. One. Yes. Stepping over logs. Yeah, that's it. We've got a big four-wheel drive. I can see some four-wheel drive owners here trying to get in and out of the car. All right, inhaling, and then coming around. One more time, or two more times. Inhaling, lifting, opening, and swinging the hips out. Yes, that's it. One more time, getting out of the passenger seat of the car. Inhaling, hands go up and around. Yes, that's it. Right. These ones here. Yay, I won lotto, right? Yay, I won lotto. All right, so I wish, I don't know, $100 million power. No, well, that was the other week, wasn't it? Okay, let's do our right leg again. So from here, we'll do this under control though this time. So we're going to inhale, lift our foot up, or you could even come onto your toes if that works for you like this, just to try and keep that balance. And then we're going to open up our knee and face it to the short or to the long edge of the mat, and then put our foot down and turn. So this is where I want you to notice is the opening up of the leg. Fantastic. And then swing it around. Yes. So inhaling and then rotating. Two more times. Inhaling and then exhaling. Yes. Last time we'll meet at the front. Inhale and then open around. Anyone who's done kickboxing before, it's like a check, bang, like this one. All right, so from here we'll be doing our left leg now again. So second round for the left leg, starting in mountain pose. Well, if you've got the chair, you can do that as well with the chair. I'll give a quick demonstration. Is just, holding it here and then opening up and then using the chair as the balance with this. Yeah, so use the chair as a prop if that helps you, yes? Excellent. So when we pick up our leg, it's inhale. As we exhale, we move our leg and then turn around. We're leading with our breath and then notice, yes. Awesome. Not yes, mate. That's the way. Yes, excellent. So inhaling, exhaling, down. Inhaling up, exhaling, rotate, down. Inhaling up, exhaling, rotate, down. Fantastic work, everyone. All right, so you may need the chair for this one. You may not. So today I'm going to be focusing a lot on the standing poses, because in that way we don't need to worry about getting up and down, and then over the coming weeks we'll start making our way down a little bit more. So from here, the one that you're going to be moving is your right leg, my left leg, and we're going to just quickly pick it up and then put it in front of the other foot. So we've got the cross leg here. Right? Maybe put it in front of the other foot, right? So keep a micro bend in the knees. Yes. So from here, this is the one, this is the front leg is inhaling, hands go up. We call this a banana stretch. And then the leg that's at the front, we're going to tip. Yes. There we go. Exhaling, feeling a side stretch in our body. Oh, use your chair. Again, from here, that might work. I'll give a demonstration with the chair, is using your hand, placing the foot, one hand, and then the chair comes in. Yes, perfect. So that's the way that we're going to be doing it. For 2 breaths, inhaling, exhaling. And then when we exhale, we imagine that we're spiking into our heels and then reaching up for the sky at the same time. One more time, inhaling, feeling the side body, and then exhaling. And then inhaling, come up, exhaling, hands come down. Fantastic, uncross the legs. Maybe you might want to walk to the other side of your chair now, or place it on the other side. So we're not rushing or anything like this, guys, so then that way you can sort of see and get the right motions. All right, so this side, this time around, is getting your left leg, my right leg, and then placing it in front of the other one. Yes, so we're kind of like, yes, exactly. From here, with your left hand is inhaling up and then exhaling as we push our hip out and then reach for the sky. Yes, fantastic. 2 breaths here, inhaling, exhaling. Right, reaching up a little bit higher, spiking the foot in, inhaling, and then exhaling. As we inhale, come to sit straight, and then down. So with each one, with the inhales and exhales, it's always setting before we move and using the breath to help link our movement. So let's try that on the other side now. If you're using the chair, use the chair. I won't use it for this example. We're moving our right foot, my left foot. So I'm trying to teach my brain how to mirror it. So that's why I'm saying your right and my left. Otherwise, you know, I'll get a little bit confused. So from here, your right foot, my left, is coming over, whoop, placing the foot in front. Stage 1. So next one is let's put our hand on the hips. If you're not using the chair, inhaling, hand comes up. And then exhaling, pushing the hip out, and then leaning over. Yes. All right, for 2 full breaths here, inhale, exhaling. Imagine spiking down on that heel and reaching up at the same time. Inhale, exhaling, expanding the side of our ribs. Inhaling as we come up, and then exhaling as we come down, and then out of that legs crossed. Fantastic, let's shake out the hands. If you need a drink, take a drink. We'll do one more side. Right, so this time, we're all ready. Fantastic work. So from here, we'll set, inhale, and then exhale, we move our foot. Grab the chair. Fantastic. Maybe our hand might be on our hip, just for a bit of added balance, like a teapot. Okay. Inhaling, hand goes up. Exhaling, as we lean over. So yeah, you guys just mirror me. Yes, that's it. Great work. For 2 breaths, inhaling, exhaling, reaching for the sky. One more. Reaching for the sky, and then exhaling. Set, come straight, and then exhaling as we come down. Fantastic. Whew. All right, fantastic work here. You might need the chair for this next one, you might not. So we're really covering quite a lot of moves here at the moment. So that was our banana pose. From here, I'm going to give an example. You might need the chair if you're going to be sitting down. So maybe what I'll do actually, let's do that. Need the chairs, place it to the back of your mat with the chair bit forward, because we're actually coming into what we call chair pose. Yes. Yep. That's just there to catch you. All right. So come forward to the chair. Yes. That's just there to catch you, and that's if we want to come down. So what we're doing now is, again, setting the base for our feet, and this is what we call chair pose. Okay, so let's look at our feet. From the front, picking up our feet, shoulder width apart, or you can have them close together if that's in your practice, or if you feel comfortable with that. For me, that's my anatomy. I don't want to be squashing anything, so I'm just got my feet apart. Right, from here, looking down, hands here. All right, so what we're going to be doing is, I'll demonstrate first, is we're going to push our tailbone back and then reach up with our hands. We don't need to reach up all the way to the sky, 45 degrees, and we're going to look at our hands. All right, saying, okay, if we're into AFL, right, we're going to mark the ball. Oh, look at this here. Okay, here we go. And then stand up. So from here, we're going to try and get down maybe a little bit lower. We might hit our, so this is where the chair might be if we get right low. But let's start off with a few different breaths here, and that's just there to catch you. Okay, so from here, inhaling to set, shoulders back, exhaling as we push our tailbone back, lift our hands up, look to our hands. Now, if you have a look at your feet, right, have a look at your knees, make sure that your knees aren't over your toes, right? Maybe you might want to see if you could lift your toes up, right? If you've got weight on the front of your toes, right, that's where we're pushing our tailbone back. For 2 breaths, inhaling, exhaling. We can come up a little bit more, 1 more, and then down. 1 more, inhaling to come up, hands come together, exhaling. Down. All right, let's see if we could maybe get a little bit lower if you want to challenge yourself. But if not, that's fine as well, because we're working our quads and our legs. All right, so from here, let's start again with our feet shoulder width apart in mountain pose in the stance. From here is inhale to set, and then exhaling as we lift our hands up, tailbone pushes back, and we're reaching for our hands. If you can imagine that our tailbone and our hands, that's one big line there. That's what we're looking at. All right, for 2 breaths, inhaling, exhaling. 1 more time, inhaling, exhaling. From here, it's a little bit different. Inhale, and then from here, exhaling as we then hinge from our hips. Keep that same position to our forward fold. Loosen our head. All right, 2 breaths here. Exhaling. 1 more, inhaling, exhaling. And then inhaling now. As we come up, fantastic, looking to the sky, and then exhaling. Back down to our chair, and then standing up. Shake it off. All right, so if you're using the chair and we're down here for our fold that I want to show you, from here, if we're doing our seated and we do the forward fold, so if we come from this seated position here, you can always just reach down, grab the seat, and then come down for the forward fold, is then just reaching down like this, inhaling to then stand up. Okay, so that's what we're doing. Is if you're using the chair, there's an option there for you to be able to sit down on that chair and then do the forward fold there. And what we're doing is feeling for that lengthening of the lower back, because if we're sitting for a long time, it can compress our lower back a little bit. All right, so let's go and do this 1 more time. All righty, standing up, shoulder width apart, feet shoulder width, lifting the toes, placing them down. Micro bend in the knees, hands are out or by the side, whatever's comfortable for you. So we inhale, shoulders, chest is sticking out like we're receiving a medal from the CO, and then exhaling, we're going to push our tailbone back, looking at our hands. We might be wanting to mark the ball in the AFL if that works for you, or reaching up for the cupboards. Fantastic work. Inhale, exhaling, inhaling, exhaling. Next one's different. Inhaling. We're going to fold from our hips, coming down, keeping the feet the same. We're going to loosen our head. If you're in the chair, as I showed before, maybe you might want to grab your elbows and do the ragdoll again. All right, just loosening up our lower back. From here, maybe you might want to place your left hand down or grab on a block if you can. If you need a block, or you can have your chair. All right, if that works, maybe yes. Okay, I'm gonna, actually, my bad. We're gonna come up, inhaling, come up. And then, so if you have a look, your blocks might be in front of you. Can I get you to grab your block as well, please? And then we'll be holding that in the left hand. What's going on here? You okay? Is everyone all right?
Most
coffee break.
Coffee break. Well, Yvonne said that she did have some teas and cake for afterwards, right? So, okay, so here we go. Let's start. So that our block's going to be in our left hand, if that's the case. So from here, you can hold it in your left hand or have it by your foot, by your left foot. Yep. And that'll just help you be able to touch it and bring the ground up to you. So from here, we're going to be doing our chair pose again. So inhaling to set, arms up, and then coming into our seat. Looking at our hands for 2 breaths here. Inhaling, exhaling. Maybe lift your toes a little bit. Inhaling, exhaling. This one's a bit different. We're folding. Inhale to set. Exhaling, fold down. Now reach the block with your left hand. All right, from here, our belly's on thighs. Think belly's on thighs. And from here, we're twisting. So with our right hand, like the wings of a bird, is inhaling. We're going to lift our hand up just to, yep, as far as you can, or just parallel with the ground, and then down. So the block's going to be, yes, so use the block as support, so lift your other hand, yes. All right, so inhaling, rotating around, so use the block as support and lift your other hand. Yes, that's it, and then exhaling down. One more time, inhaling, exhaling, and we're coming up now. Inhale to come up, all the way, hands to the top, and then let the balloon go. All right, so now we're going to switch to our right hand side with the block. So put it by your right foot. Fantastic work. I'm going to change the sides here just in case, and then turn around this way so you can see what I'm talking about. From here, looking at our feet again, setting our stance. It's always important to set the base first. So inhaling, looking up. Exhaling, coming down to our seat, tailbone comes back, reaching for our hands. Fantastic work. From here, 2 breaths, inhale, exhaling, reaching forward a little bit more, trying to get something off the cupboard shelf. One more. Last one, we're going to come down to the ground, inhale. Sorry, we're folding. Exhaling, keeping the legs in the same position. Right hand meets that block. Left hand is the one that's going to be raising up. So using the block as stability on the ground, we're going to inhale, lift our left hand up and track, maybe have a look at our thumbs as well, with our arm, with our head and the gaze. Exhaling. One more time, inhaling. All right. Exhaling. Kind of like a right dress a little bit, like we're looking down the arm, looking down the knuckles. Inhaling one more time. And then exhaling. Now coming to stand again, inhale. As we come up 1 vertebrae at a time. Hands come out, inhale. Look to the sky and then down the center line. All right, so I just wanted to note, because I didn't quite mention this earlier on, when we're coming from a fold up and I say stacking 1 vertebrae at a time, over time, instead of using your back, so when we lift, sometimes that's something that we might twing our back with if we try and just hoik it up straight away. What I mean by stacking 1 vertebrae at a time is with our back, I'm just using this one here as I come up each one, so my lumbar's coming up, I'm unfurling, right? Then from here, then I'm reaching up and then using that natural curve of the spine to be able to really lengthen and shorten the spine, so I'm not coming up and really dumping on my lower back. So one more example of that as we come down. Hinging at the hips under control, so I'm sucking my belly in from this position when I say stack it up. Sometimes it might be easier for you as well is if you put your hands on your legs and then unfurl like this. Shoulders come back, neutral spine, hands, and then come down. So that's just a little bit of example there with how our back and our mechanics are going to be going. All right, so let's, okay, we're going to make our way down. So let's move our chairs to the side now. The standing's done for the day. That's the hardest part. All right, we're going to come down to the ground. Make sure that your strap is readily available if you've got the strap. So we can just move the chairs right away. Move them right away. Yep. Piss them off. That's it. Oh, okay, that's all right. Then we can just move them out of the way. Hand. Oh, okay, you want to do the chair? You can hop on the chair. Absolutely, you can. So I'll give options for that as well. Okay, I will give options for this. For the rest of you, if we can make our way to our back, onto the floor. All right. So if you choose the chair, that's absolutely fine. I'll give a modification in a moment. And we're going to lie down on our back. Come down to lie down on your back. Whatever way is easiest for you. So if you have to come onto your side or on your back. All right, so now we're on the floor section or the chair section of what we're doing. We might want to bend our knees if that works for you. All right, so I'll say the floor one first. From here, we're going to do what we call a supine twist. So I want to make sure that your hands and your shoulders, wriggle your shoulders on the ground. Can you feel your shoulders, both your shoulder blades, the back of your shoulders on the ground? From here, with your feet, can you feel your feet and the sole of your feet on the ground as well? Maybe you might want to have a look at your knees and see if they're shoulder width apart. Right, excellent. Right, same if you're in the chair, yes. Right, so from here, we're going to raise, even in the chair, is our right foot first. So as we inhale, we're going to raise our right foot and then give our knee a hug, like this. So yes, that's right. Excellent work. And then we're going to exhale and place it down. Right, linking the motions in, and we'll build on this over the coming weeks. Left leg is the one that's going to raise next. Inhaling as we give our knee a hug. And then exhaling. This is a good way to be able to, get the wind out of your belly for a fart, right? If you're stuck and you had food. Or it's a good way to massage your belly to be able to get the food settled in, especially if you've had a big feed and you let it settle down a little bit and you need it to come in. So it's a good massage for your guts. So inhaling, right foot's the one that's going to lift now. Maybe if you want a little bit more, is with your left foot, you might want to extend that left foot a little bit out. Right? And then we're going to imagine that heel's on the ground. So from here, our shoulders are back, and we might, with our bent leg, is pull our toes towards us. And then point the toes. Inhaling, pull them back, flexing the foot. Exhaling, pointing the toes. And then bringing the leg down. And then we're going to switch out now. So setting again with both knees up. With both legs up is our left hand side. All right, so inhaling, pulling our left leg up towards our chest, or however far is comfortable for you. Maybe you might want to extend your right leg. You may feel a stretch down there in the front of the leg or the hip flexor. And we're going to do 2 breaths here. Inhaling, exhaling, inhaling, exhaling. We're going to flex the foot now, pull the toes back. Give them a point. Inhaling, exhaling, and then place them down. All right, so from here, let's place our legs again up a little bit with that. And what we're going to do is, if you can imagine your tailbone, we're going to shift it about 1 inch to the left. So from here, breathe in and just give it a little inch to the left. And then from here, we're going to dip our knees to the right hand side. So you can take your arms out in a T, and we're going to bend our knees to the right. So they don't need to touch the ground. You might just feel the side body stretch, and we're keeping our elbows on the ground if you're in a chair. All right, so we're going to take 2 breaths here while you're doing that. If you're in the chair, from here, what I'll do is I'll get you to rotate and just place your arm across your leg, sitting up straight, that's it, and then looking over your shoulder, the other shoulder. That's it, that's it. because that's a supine twist as well. So from here, inhaling, coming back up, lifting your knees, adjusting if you're on the floor, adjusting your tailbone to the other side, and then dropping your legs the other way. If you're in the seat, hands up again, and then we're going to reach the opposite arm again across the legs, and then look over our shoulder for a supine twist. So that's it. Excellent work. Yes. So what we'll do is with your, you can mirror me. Okay, you can mirror me. So from here. Yes. And then so guys, if you're on the floor for the moment, I want you to do that 2 more times each side in your own time, and then take 2 breaths whilst your knees are down, if that's okay. And then for those in the chair, all right, so I'll go with you. Let's, you know, at school, all right, pick me, all right? So you're going to mirror me with your right hand, my left is inhaling, up like this. The other hand's going to come down, support, hold the chair. The other hand, all right? So, and then we're going to rotate, place that hand across the knee, and we're going to look over your shoulder. Yes, your right shoulder, yes. 2 breaths here, inhaling, exhaling, inhaling, exhaling, inhaling slowly to release. Now it's your left hand, my right hand, inhaling, up, and then exhaling, down for 2 breaths. Now, if you are on the floor, right, we could meet in a neutral position and just, yeah, take it like whatever pose that you feel comfortable in. And that's the pose, final resting pose called Savasana. Let's breathe in twice. If we're seated, exhaling, looking over the shoulder. 1 more time. Exhaling. And then inhaling to slowly come back around to the front. Shaking it out. Alrighty, for us on the floor, if it's comfortable for you, maybe you might want to stretch your legs out like you're in bed. Alright, what we're going to do now, if you're in the chair, sit back a little bit more so that we could use the chair as the support, and then sort of loosen our shoulders and that. So here is the final resting pose, and one of the most important ones of a yoga practice, and it's called Savasana in its technical name, or corpse pose. All right, final resting pose is another name that it's known by. So all the hard work's done. If you want to close down your eyes, I invite you to close down your eyes now, and then go internal. And I'm going to, if you're in your seat, maybe close down your eyes or take a soft gaze in front of you. A soft gaze means unfocused, just looking to the front there. If you're not comfortable with closing your eyes, whichever way works for you at the moment. And we'll go internal. No need to shape your breath now. And today's theme is I am present. Over the next 6 weeks, we'll explore various breath meditation practices together. According to the Yoga Sutras, or yoga philosophy that accompanies the asanas or the postures we practice, meditation is defined as one-pointed focus. There are many types of meditation, and you'll discover that some help quiet your mind, while others may bring more thoughts to the surface. Whichever way which comes up, it's all about noticing these thoughts, or if we're checklisting, or if we're thinking about the other things, is knowing that they're there and not having to do anything about them and then letting them pass. So today, in this final moment, we'll try a simple breath meditation with an affirmation. So as you inhale, silently think, breathe in. And as you exhale, think, breathe out. So continue this mindful breathing for the next few rounds in your own time. If a thought comes, acknowledge it. You don't need to action it. Say, yep, you're here, and then let it go. In final resting pose. The reason why we do this in yoga is to allow our nervous system to then reset itself and then quiet down a little bit. The movements or the postures are there to be able to help us prepare for this silent meditation at the end and help us ease and quieten down the mind, even though we know that there's lots of things going on in there. Right, it's accepting that there's stuff there and then letting it go. So from here, I'm going to get you now to come back into your body and start wiggling your fingers and your toes. Right, maybe you might want to reach your hands overhead like it's the first thing in the morning, pointing your toes out and then breathing in and then exhaling. Relaxing one more time, breathing in and then relaxing. Right. If you're on the ground, maybe you might want to bring your knees in and give yourself a hug. If you're in your chair, maybe that might be one leg each. Right. And then find your way to the most comfortable side. So roll over to the side, or what we call the fetal position. Yeah, roll onto a side that's comfortable for you, maybe away from the chair. All right, loosen your hands, whatever's comfortable. For a couple of last resting breaths, if you're in your seat, that's your little last bit of meditation. And then in your own time, come up to an easy seat or to a seated position. And we'll close off our practice. Yep, so make your way up to the easy seat. That's exactly right. So sometimes I find it's a little bit easier for me here, is to come down to the side, push up, and then come down. We'll do a little bit of work on that one in the next few weeks as well. So in case there's any trips or falls, we can work on our on getting up back off the ground if there's a accidental trip or fall. That's something a little bit important as well. So from here, we're going to take one last cleansing breath, inhaling. You could quiet down your eyes, you could close down your eyes, exhaling, letting loose. Now, with your hands, is you can bring them to what we call prayer. Right. From here, we're going to place our thumbs in between our eyes with our hands in prayer. And this is to clarify thought. Bring our thumbs to our lips, hands in prayer, to clarify what we say internally and externally. It's so important about that self-talk that we have is so important for a positive mindset. And then what we say externally as well, speaking our truth. And then bring our hands down to between our chest or the heart center in traditional yoga to clarify your intent. Thank you for taking this 60 minutes to practice and allow me to guide you through your own practice, and for committing to the next few weeks here for RSL Active. And we usually close now with what we say namaste. So namaste is just closing it off, or a thank you for the practice. So you can feel free to say it when we say it or not if you're thinking it. So thank you so much, everyone. Have a look at your neighbour and thank them as well. And if you've got any questions, I'll be hanging around.